Dear parents, teachers and guardians of our children, I am Lylan from the world of Atapuma. Today we will address bullying and teasing, understanding how they affect children and what tools we can provide to help them cope, grow stronger, and build safer and more welcoming environments. But before we begin, make sure you have the story Fela the Cat on hand, whether in video story, printed or digital format. You will need your magical passport for this journey. To better understand the impact of bullying and teasing on our children, we must take a closer look at their inner world, how they think, what they feel, and how they interpret what they experience. Fela's story reflects what many children face in their daily lives. It invites us to pause and imagine for a moment our own children going through similar situations, being teased or excluded by their peers, and silently carrying the weight of not fitting in. There is a kind of pain that is not always visible, the pain of teasing and bullying. It leaves no marks on the body, but it can deeply wound a child inside. Before looking for solutions, it is important to understand what is truly happening. Teasing, rejection, and hurtful words can have a significant impact on children. Think of Fela, our protagonist, facing laughter and comments from her classmates. Bullying is not always obvious. Sometimes it appears in gestures, in silence, or in leaving someone out. For a child, these experiences can shape the way they see themselves, relate to others, and feel about their place in the world. That is why this is not a minor issue. It is an experience that deserves to be heard, understood, and supported. Children often do not talk about what they are feeling. They keep their pain inside and try to hide it, as if that could make it disappear. But it does not disappear. As adults, it is our responsibility to look beyond what is visible, learn to listen to what is not being said, and recognize that their pain is real, even when they cannot find the words to express it. Bullying is not always obvious. Sometimes there are no shouts or physical aggression. It can be found in an uncomfortable laugh, an excluding glance, or a comment that seems small but leaves a lasting mark. For a child, these actions hurt deeply. We should never minimize subtle forms of bullying because, very often, that is where the deepest wounds are hidden. Bullying can also repeat itself like an echo. Those who have been hurt sometimes end up hurting others. That is why the role of adults is so important, to guide, support, and teach healthier ways of relating to others. We must help children learn to put themselves in someone else's shoes, to respect and care for others, even when they disagree. A deep understanding of bullying and teasing is the first step in addressing the problem. When we truly place ourselves in a child's position, as if we were feeling what Fela experiences, we become more sensitive to their emotions. From there, we can create spaces of trust and dialogue where children feel safe to express themselves, feel supported, and find ways to overcome these situations. One of the foundations for addressing bullying and teasing is maintaining close and consistent communication with children. Talk with them about their experiences at school and listen carefully and respectfully. Ask whether they have experienced situations similar to Fela's and encourage them to express their feelings. Avoid judgment. Sometimes calm listening is exactly what they need. Talking with children can be as simple as having a conversation with someone you trust. However, in real life, many children feel fear or embarrassment when speaking about what is happening to them. That is why, guardians of children, it is essential to create spaces where they feel safe, heard, and understood. Children often do not know how to put their feelings into words. They are still learning to recognize their emotions and may respond with simple answers such as good or bad. This is where our role becomes important, to accompany them patiently and help them go a little deeper. We can do this through open-ended questions that encourage reflection and expression. For example, what happened that made you feel that way? Or, would you like to tell me a little more? The goal is not to interrogate them, but to guide them respectfully, showing genuine interest in their experiences. You can use Fela as an example. Imagine that your child is like her, facing situations that are difficult to manage. Take the time to listen carefully, look them in the eyes, and let them know you are present. Avoid interrupting or rushing to offer solutions. Sometimes what they need most is not advice, but understanding. Ask calmly and allow them to express their thoughts and feelings at their own pace. To help children express themselves with confidence, it is important to provide a calm environment where they can speak without fear of criticism. Let them know that, no matter what happens, they will always have your love and support. The goal is not to solve everything immediately, but to make sure they know you are there, ready to listen and support them whenever they need it. It is important to teach children healthy ways to cope with bullying. Encourage them to talk to a trusted adult whenever something makes them feel bad. Let them know that expressing their feelings is not a sign of weakness, but a way of taking care of themselves. It is also helpful to teach them that not every hurtful comment deserves their attention. When they do not react, those words often lose their power. Over time, children can learn not to give so much importance to what others say. We know that facing these situations is not easy, but with guidance and the right tools, children can feel safer and more capable of handling what they experience each day. Talking to a trusted adult can make a tremendous difference when a child is facing bullying. It is important for children to know that there is always someone willing to listen and support them without judgment. Encourage them to share their experiences calmly and confidently. Just as Fela found comfort by opening her heart to her mother, our children also need that safe space where they can feel understood and supported. Explain to them that communication is a valuable tool. Learning to express their feelings and thoughts with respect and clarity is essential. It is also important for them to know how to say no when something does not feel right, and how to ask for help without fear when they need it. Fela's story teaches us that when we speak up and make ourselves heard, it becomes easier to face challenges and find support. Helping children understand that not everything others say deserves a response is an important step toward emotional well-being. Teasing often seeks to hurt or attract attention. When a child learns not to carry those words inside, they begin protecting their inner world. We can help by practicing at home how to stay calm, breathe deeply, and choose not to give power to hurtful comments. Learning to face bullying is also learning to recognize our feelings and give ourselves permission to heal. When a child experiences rejection or loneliness, they do not only need answers, they need to be heard, understood, and supported. Fela's story reminds us that pain is real, but so is the ability to transform it. Fela did not stop feeling sad overnight. First, she allowed herself to feel, to pause, and gradually began to look at herself with more kindness. That process, supported by her mother's love, helped her rebuild her confidence and reconnect with what made her special. Let us encourage our children to talk about their feelings, to name their emotions without fear, and to discover their own inner strengths. Let us teach them that they are not alone, that what they are experiencing makes sense, and that there is a strength within them that can grow with support and patience. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about learning to move through it with love. And when a child learns to recognize, value, and accept themselves, as Fela did, they begin to heal from within and walk through life with greater confidence. In conclusion, addressing bullying and teasing is not an individual task, but a shared commitment among parents, teachers, and caregivers. Listening attentively, teaching children to put themselves in someone else's place, providing tools to respond to difficult situations, and strengthening their inner confidence are all essential actions. As adults, we carry a profound responsibility for their emotional growth. Use Fela's story to open genuine spaces for conversation, where children can express themselves without fear. Let us build environments where they feel valued, safe, and understood. Empathy and respect do not only transform the present, they lay the foundation for a more compassionate and conscious future. I would like to share some practical tools that can help your children face situations involving bullying and teasing. We know that supporting them during these moments is essential, not only to protect them, but also to strengthen their confidence and sense of self-worth. These strategies are designed to create opportunities for dialogue, understanding, and emotional growth at home. With your support, children can learn to recognize their value, express their feelings, and develop resilience in the face of challenges. Supporting them through this process makes a tremendous difference. Reading and discussion. Based on the story Fela the Cat, read Fela the Cat together with children. Afterward, invite them into a calm and open conversation. You can ask questions such as, how do you think Fela felt during those moments? What do you think hurt her the most? Has anything similar ever happened to you? The goal is not to correct or judge, but to listen. Allowing children to express what they think and feel helps them connect with the story and recognize their own emotions. This kind of dialogue strengthens empathy and helps children feel supported and understood. Role-playing and finding solutions. Create a role-playing activity where children act out situations similar to those experienced by Fela. They can recreate scenes involving teasing, exclusion, or moments when someone is not being heard. After the role-play, invite them to reflect together. What could Fela do in that situation? What other ways could she respond without hurting herself or others? Who could help in that situation? This exercise allows children to practice responses in a safe environment, develop conflict management skills, and understand that there are always alternatives for handling difficult situations. It also strengthens empathy, because children not only play Fela, but also those around her, helping them reflect on the impact of their actions. Affirmation journal. Inspired by Fela's journey, encourage children to keep a small journal where they can write positive things about themselves. Each night before going to sleep, they can write a simple sentence such as, "Today I did something well. I am good at. What I like about myself is." The goal is not to write a lot, but to gradually recognize their own value. If they wish, they can share some of their affirmations at home or in the classroom. This helps create an atmosphere of trust where everyone learns to view themselves with greater kindness and respect. Over time, this habit strengthens self-esteem and reminds children, even during difficult moments, that they possess valuable qualities. These activities not only help children face bullying and teasing, but also strengthen essential skills such as empathy, self-esteem, and communication. They reinforce the central message of Fela the Cat, recognizing one's own worth, respecting differences, and understanding that every person has unique talents. Through this process, children learn to become more confident, authentic, and compassionate toward others. On behalf of myself and all the members of the world of Atapuma, thank you for being here. Your support is essential in helping children face exclusion without losing their essence or their sense of worth. If this capsule touched your heart, follow us for more content that inspires, supports, and strengthens families.